Toxic women often overvalue external, extroverted traits that aren't really essential for a biblical man's character. While men often get addicted to porn and then have this idolized version of a woman and want her to, fulfill these unrealistic expectations in the bedroom, women do the same type of thing, but it comes in the form of romance novels and romantic comedies. And they see these guys on screen and they want us guys to be these perfect, witty men who have all these extroverted traits. And obviously, there's just as you want a physically beautiful woman, yeah, it's not bad for her to want a guy who knows how to communicate and connect with her emotionally. I'm not saying that's wrong, but obviously there's a line, and there's a just as a man can overvalue a woman's physical beauty, so too can a woman overvalue a man's ability to emotionally connect with her. And so a toxic woman or just an immature woman starts valuing what I call traits and skills and talents rather than actual character. So a lot of women get mesmerized by the worship leader, right? Because he can express himself through song and is very expressive. Or there's this one guy at church who's very well spoken and emotional and can talk and all this. But really, he's just a player because he knows how to say and do and share, but he doesn't have that biblical character that's needed to be a good husband or father one day. And these types of women are wanting to be mesmerized by that guy. They're just as men can look for a perfect woman who's not real, so too these women look for perfect men, and the only men who are actually perfect are the guys who are players because they're projecting like they're perfect. Whereas a real man's going to be honest and not try to be everything a woman wants in this sinful, idolized way. He's going to know, I can't be that type of guy. I'm not an actor. I'm not a singer. I'm not going to be a person in a play. I'm not that type of guy. And a woman who's toxic is going to need that. She's going to need a guy who's this fake version that's just not real men. Men just are typically not very expressive. And she's going to be overly mesmerized by talent and skills, and she's going to be undervaluing character and work ethic. But a godly woman's going to be repulsed by the player who portrays himself as this perfect guy who never has any issues and it says all the right things all the time, because a godly, mature woman's going to know that that's a fantasy. And she's going to be her radar is going to go off when this guy is just constantly trying to project himself as that perfect guy. And she's going to be much more attracted to the guy who has biblical character, who's not worried about his physical appearance so much and is worried about, social media and how he looks and the way women view him, whereas he's going to be focused on developing character, work ethic, being a good provider, being a good protector, growing in his spiritual development so he can actually lead a wife and family one day. So all that to say, be a real man. We tend to gravitate towards the people who are like us. And if you're looking for a genuine woman who has biblical character and isn't playing games, you need to be that type of man who has biblical character and isn't playing games, because you guys are going to be able to find each other in a crowd. There's something about being genuine and truthful that causes you to be able to pick up on people who aren't being genuine and truthful and who are. And if you want that type of woman who's the real deal, then you got to be that type of man who's the real deal. So how can you find this type of woman we're talking about? And how can you say and do the right things to pursue her and attract her and, God willing, get into a relationship with her? Those are the things we're going to talk about in lesson 3.